Welcome dear student and Jai Swaminarayan. In the previous video, we will discuss the first 8 questions of the exercise of the chapter number 4. Now dear student, in this video, we will discuss question number 9 from the question number 9 to onwards of the exercise of the chapter number 4. Right? So dear student, today we will start from the question number 4.9. The question number 4.1 to 4.8 we were discussed in the previous video. So dear student, see the previous video for the question number 4.1 to 4.8 of the exercise of chapter number 4. So today we will start from the question number 4.9. Question number 4.9. A cyclist starts from the center O of the circular path of a radius 1 kilometer. The radius of the circular path is given to you 1 kilometer, right? Reach the edge P of the park and cycles along the circumference and returns to the center along the OQ path as shown in the figure. So here the figure is given to you. A cyclist starts from the center of the circular path of a radius 1 kilometer. Radius of this circular path is a 1 kilometer, right? It reaches to the edge P and along the circumference is reached to Q and then come back to the O, right? Now what we want to find, if the round trip takes the 10 minutes, right? The total time taken by the cyclist is a 10 minutes. What is the net displacement, average velocity and the average speed of the cyclist? So here, dear student, here the cyclist covers the distance OP, PQ and QO. So to calculate the average velocity, we require to calculate the average displacement, right? Total time is given to you 10 minutes. So first we need to calculate the displacement. From the displacement we can find the average velocity, right? And then we can calculate the total distance traveled by the cyclist, and then from that total distance divided by time we can get the average speed. So here the cyclist starts from the center of the circle O, reach to the P, then from P to it reach to the Q, and Q to it reach to the again initial position. So here what is the displacement? Displacement is the minimum distance between the initial position and the final position. So here the initial position and the final position of the cyclist are same. It is at O, right? So what is the displacement? What is the displacement when the initial position and the final position are same? What is the displacement? The net displacement of the cyclist be a 0, right? So here in this case the net displacement of the cyclist is a 0. So from this displacement, what is the average velocity? The average velocity is equal to net displacement divided by time interval, right? So here the net displacement is 0, right? The average velocity will also 0, right? So understand the first question point, right? The displacement of the cyclist be a 0. So we can say that the average velocity of the cyclist be a 0 during a given time interval 10 minutes, right? So now how we can find the total distance traveled by the cyclist? The total distance traveled by the cyclist is a OP plus PQ plus QO, right? And the total distance divided by time, we get the average speed. So average speed is equal to total path length, that is the total distance traveled by the car divided by the total time is given to you 10 minutes. So how we can find the total path length? The total path length is equal to OP plus PQ plus QO, right? O to P distance plus P to Q and Q to O, right? So OP, the radius of the circular path, that is a 1 kilometer. So we put here 1 kilometer. So here OP is a 1 kilometer. We put a radius 1 kilometer. Similarly, OQ is also a radius of the circular path, right? So it is also a 1 kilometer. Now PQ. PQ, that is the length of the arc. So how we find the length of the arc? Length of this arc PQ. If you consider the whole the circular path, the total length is a 2 pi r, and this portion PQ is the fourth part of the circumference. So the length of the PQ be a fourth part of the circumference. So here the circumference of the circle is a 2 pi r, that is a 2 pi into 1, and divide by 4 we get the length of the PQ, right? So if you calculate this, 1 plus 1, that is a 2 kilometer, plus 2 pi divided by 4, that is a pi by 2. Take a value of the pi is a 3.14. 3.14 divided by 2, we get the 1.57, right? And 2 plus 1.57, we get a total distance traveled by the cyclist is a 3.570 kilometer. Now time is given to you. Time is a 10 minute. We need to convert this time into the hour. Minute, 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So 10 minute is equal to 10 divided by 60. We get a 1 by 6 hour, right? So the average speed. What is the formula of the average speed? Average speed is equal to total distance, that is a 3.57, divided by time 1 by 6 hour. 1 by 6. 6 we take in the upper direction. If you calculate this, the average speed will be 21.42 km per hour. Understand, dear student, how we can find the average velocity and the average speed? So now, dear student, let us see the example number 4.11 of the exercise. A passenger arriving in a new town wishes to go from the station to a hotel located at a 10 km away on a straight road from the station. A dishonest cabman takes him along a circuitous path of a 23 km long and reach a hotel in a 28 minute, right? What will be the average speed of the taxi and magnitude of the average velocity? Are the two equal? So here if we consider the hotel is located at the 10 km on a straight road, but the dishonest cabman takes him along a zigzag path of a 23 km, right? So in a 28 minute. So here the total time taken by the taxi driver is a 28 minute, and the total distance traveled by the taxi driver is a 23 km, right? But here the hotel is located a 10 km in a straight line. So we take a displacement of a 10 km, but the path length, the taxi driver takes a path of a 23 km. So the path length, total distance traveled by the taxi is a 23 km. So we take a path length 23 km and displacement is a 10 km, right? So how we can find the average speed? Average speed is equal to total path length divided by time interval. So here the total distance traveled by the taxi is a 23 km and time taken 28 minutes, that is a 28 divided by 60 hour. So average speed of the taxi is the total distance divided by time. Total distance is a 23 divided by time 28 by 60. So if you calculate this, you get the answer 49.29, approximately 49.3 kilometer per hour, right? So now, but the hotel is located at a 10 km straight from the station. So the displacement by the passenger, the distance between the hotel and station, the minimum distance is a 10 km. So the displacement of the car is a 10 km. So average velocity, how we can calculate the average velocity? Average velocity is equal to displacement 10 divided by time 28 by 60. We get a 21.43 km per hour. So here the average speed and the average velocity are not equal, right? So understand, dear student, how we can find the average speed? So here the minimum distance is a 10 km. So displacement we take a 10 km, time we take a 28 minute, that is a 28 divided by 60 minute, 60 hour, right? So the average velocity is a 10 divided by 28 by 60, and the total distance traveled by the car is a 23 km. So path length here is a 23 kilometer. So path length divided by time, we get the average speed. So understand here student how we can calculate the average speed and the average velocity. So now dear student, we will take a example number 4.10. On an open ground, a motorist follow a track that turns to his left by an angle 60 degree after every 500 meter. After covering a distance of the every 500 meter, the motorist turns a left by an angle 60 degree. Starting from a given turn, right, specify a displacement of the motorist at a third turn, sixth turn and eighth turn. So calculate the displacement of the motorcyclist at a third turn, at a sixth turn and at a eighth turn. We can calculate the displacement and the distance traveled by the motorist at the each and every turn, right? Compare the magnitude of the displacement with the total path length covered by the motorist in each case. So here the motorist starts at a point P, right? The path followed by the motorist in a regular hexagon with a side of a 500 meter, right? So here let us consider that. So here let us consider that the motorcyclist starts at a point P, this point. It covers a 500 meter and turn left at an angle 60 degree, right? So this distance PQ is a 500 meter. Then it turns a left and covers the distance 500 meter and reach to the point R. Then again it turns a 60 degree and reach to the point S. Then again it turns to the 60 degree and reach to the point T. Again it reach to the 60 degree and reach to the point U. And again the motorcyclist turn at a 60 degree reach to the point P, right? So this shape is a regular hexagon with the sides of a 500 meter. Now we want to calculate a distance covered by the motorcyclist and the displacement of the motorcyclist and each turn. Suppose if we consider the first turn from P to Q, the motorcyclist take a first turn at a Q. So distance traveled by the motorcyclist is a PQ, right? So distance traveled by the motorcyclist is a PQ 500. The displacement of the motorcyclist is a 500, right? So at the first turn, the distance and the displacement both are the same and it is equal to 500, right? So now how we can calculate at the second turn? The second turn, at the second turn, the distance covered by the motorcyclist is a PQ plus QR. 500 plus 500, we get the 1000. Now, how we can find the displacement of the motorcyclist? PR. What is the PR? How we can calculate the PR? Yes, at the second turn, right? The net distance traveled by the motorcyclist is a PQ plus QR, that is a 500 plus 500, 1000, right? But net displacement is the minimum distance, that is a PR. So how we can calculate the PR? So here the net displacement of the motorcyclist at the second turn at a point R is a PR is calculated by the law of parallelogram. So according to the law of parallelogram, we take a displacement PR is equal to under root of PQ square plus QR square plus 2 into PQ into QR, and the angle between the both the vector is a 60 degree. So 500 square plus 500 square plus 2 into 500 into cos 60. 500 square is a 2,50,000. 500 square 2,50,000. 2,50,000 into 2 is equal to 5 lakh into 1 by 2 cos 60. Value of cos 60 is the 1 by 2. So if you calculate this, we get the net displacement. Magnitude of the displacement is a 866.03. Now how we can find the angle mixed with the horizontal? Beta is equal to tan inverse b cos theta b sin theta divided by a plus b cos theta. Right? Formula we were discussed in the law of parallelogram. So 500 sin 60 divided by 500 plus 500 cos 60. So if you calculate this, we get a angle of the displacement vector PR makes with the horizontal is a 30 degree, right? So this is at the second turn. Now it's a turn to the third turn. Now at the third turn, so when the motorcyclist takes the third turn, it reaches to the S. Now what is the total distance covered by the motorcyclist? 500 plus 500 plus 500, that is a 1500. Now what is the net displacement? Net displacement, it is a PS, right? Here PS. So PS is equal to PV plus VS, that is a 500 plus 500. We get the net displacement is a 1000. So at the third turn, what will be the net displacement? 500 plus 500, that is a 1000, right? So understand, dear student, how we can calculate. So you can able to calculate all the turns. At the fourth turn, we calculate the net distance is a 500 plus 500 plus 500 plus 500, that is a 2000, and the net displacement is a PT, that is a PT. How we can calculate the PT? With the law of parallelogram, we can calculate a PT. At the net displacement, at the fifth turn, sixth turn, seventh turn, and eighth turn is at a again R, right? So the displacement of the seventh turn is the same as the displacement of the first turn. The displacement of the eighth turn is same as the displacement of the second turn. The displacement of the ninth turn is same as the displacement of the third turn, right? So similarly, you can calculate the distance and the displacement at each and every turn. Understand? So dear student, understand this example number 4.8. So let the motorist take the third turn at a S. So at a S, the magnitude of the displacement is a PR, right? At a third turn is S, magnitude of the displacement is a PS. So that is a PV plus PS. 500 plus 500, we get a 1000, and the total distance traveled by the motorist is a PQ plus QR plus QS, right? The total path length is equal to PQ plus QR plus PRS, that is a 500 plus 500 plus 500, that is a 1500. Now the motorist takes the sixth turn at a point P. So here the sixth turn is at a point P. So here the initial position and the final position is same. So the total displacement, magnitude of the displacement is a 0, right? And the total path length is a PQ plus QR plus RS plus ST plus TU plus UP, that is a 3000, right? Now 8 turn, the motorist take the 8 turn at a point R. So the magnitude of the displacement is a PR. So how we calculate the magnitude of the displacement? PR is equal to under root of PQ square plus QR square plus 2PQ QR cos 60. So under root of the 500 square plus 500 square plus 2 into 500 into 500 cos 60. So similar to the at a turn second, right? So we get the answer 866.03. And how we can calculate the angle? Beta is equal to tan inverse B sin theta divided by 500 plus 500 cos 60. So if you calculate this, we get the angle 30 degree. So dear student, understand this example number 4.10, right? So now we will start with the example number 4.12 of the exercise. The rain falling vertically with a speed of the 30 meter per second. So rain falling down vertically with a speed of the 30 meter per second. A woman rides a bicycle with the speed of the 10 meter per second in the north to south direction. What is the direction in which she should hold her umbrella? So this type of the example we were discussed in the previous video also as the relative speed of the object, right? In the case of the relative speed, we will discuss this example number 4.6. So this example is similar to the example number 4.6. So here the direction of the rain is falling in the downward direction with the speed of a 30 meter per second. So we taking a velocity of the rain and it is in the direction of the downward direction. So velocity vector VR is in the direction of the downward direction, right? So current A woman rides a bicycle with the speed of the 10 meter per second from north to south direction. So if we considering the north to south, so rain is falling in downward direction and the woman is riding a bicycle from north to south. So the velocity of the bicycle or woman we take from north to south is the horizontal y direction, right? So vc is the 10 meter per second. So if you consider the vc is the velocity of the cyclist woman and here is the velocity of the rain. So what is the relative velocity? Relative velocity of the woman with respect to the by rain, v is equal to vr minus vc, right? vrc velocity of the rain with respect to cyclist, vrc is equal to vr minus vc. So we take a 30 minus 10, we get a 20 meter per second, and angle c should hold her umbrella is a tan theta is equal to Vc by Vr is equal to 10 by 30. So theta is equal to tan inverse 1 by 3. So tan inverse we get a 0.333. How we can find the value of the tan inverse 0.333? It is approximately 18 degree. So the value of tan inverse 0.333 we can find from the trigonometry values, right? So for this finding out the value of these trigonometry values, see the video of the trigonometry values, right? So from the trigonometry table, if you find the value of tan inverse 0.333, it is a 18 degree. So the woman should hold his umbrella at a 80 degree, right, towards the south at an angle 8 nearly 80 degree with the vertical. So now dear student, we will see the example number 4.13. A man can swim with a speed of a 4 kilometer per hour. Here the speed of the man is given to you 4 kilometer per hour in a still water. How long does he take to cross a river of a 1 kilometer? So width of the river is given to you 1 kilometer. So the man must has to travel a distance of the 1 kilometer, and we require to find the time taken to travel a man from one end of the river to the another end of the river by traveling a distance of a 1 kilometer wide. If the river flows steadily 3 kilometer per hour and he makes his stroke normal to the river current, how far how far does the river does he go when he reach the other bank, right? So we know that if the man swim in a river and the river flow is in the direction of the horizontal, the distance covered by the man, the speed of the man is given to you 4 kilometer per hour. The length of the river is a 1 kilometer wide, right? And the river flow is steadily with a 3 kilometer per hour in the horizontal direction. So here we need to find how long does the man take to cross a river. So here we need to find the relative velocity of the man with the flow of the river, right? So here the speed of the man is given to you 4 kilometer per hour. The width of the river is a 1 kilometer. So time taken to cross the river is the width of the river, that is the distance divided by speed, right? So 1 by 4 hour, right? Time we take a width of the river, that is the distance is a 1 and the time is a speed is a 4 kilometer per hour. So we get a 1 by 4 kilo hour, right? So in a minute, how we can calculate 1 by 4 into 16? So the man takes a 15 minute to cover a to travel a distance 1 kilometer to reach one end of the river to the another end. The man takes a 15 minute, right? Now speed of the river is a 3 kilometer per hour. So distance covered with the flow of the river. So velocity of the river water into the time 15 meter. So horizontal distance covered by the man at the other end of the river is the velocity of the river into the time taken to reach at that distance. So here the velocity of the river is the 3 km per hour into time is a 1 by 4 hour. So the distance covered with the flow of the river in the horizontal direction, in the direction of the flow of the river is a 3 into 1 by 4, 3 by 4 kilometer. So 3 by 4 into 1000 we get a 750 meter, right? So the time taken to cover a river, the time taken to cross a river is a 15 minute, and the horizontal distance covered in the direction of the flow of the river is a 750 meter, right? Understand, dear student? Question number 4.14. In an harbor, wind is blowing at a speed of the 72 km per hour. Here the speed of the wind is given to you 72 km per hour. The flag on the mast of the boat anchored in the harbor flutter along the northeast direction. The flag is flying in the northeast direction, right? If the boat starts moving at a speed of the 51 km per hour to the north, right? So the speed of the wind is a 72 km per hour and the speed of the boat is a 51 km per hour towards the north direction. What is the direction of the flag on the mast of the boat? So here the velocity of the boat VB is a 51 km per hour and it is in the direction of the north. Now velocity of the wind is at WB. It is in the of a 72 km per hour in the direction of the northeast, right? So how we can find the angle between the VW and VB, right? So here the flag is fluttering in the northeast direction. It shows that the wind is blowing towards the northeast direction. When the ship begins sailing towards the north, the flag will move along the direction of the relative velocity VWB. So here we need to find the velocity of the wind with respect to boat, right? That is the velocity of wind with respect to boat. So the angle between the VW and minus VB is in this and VW is this. So angle between the VW and minus VB is a 90 plus 45. So if we take this angle between the east and south is a 90 plus angle theta is 45. That is the wind blows in the direction of the north to east. So the angle is a 90 plus 45, that is a 135. So how we can find the angle of the flag flying, right, fluttering of the flag? Tan beta is equal to B sin theta divided by A plus B cos theta. So here the VB is given to you 51. So 51 sin 90 plus 45 divided by VW 72 plus 51 cos 90 plus 45, right? So 51 90 plus theta sin 90 plus theta, that is the cos theta, or we take a sin theta also, and cos 90 plus theta, that is a minus sin theta, right? So 51 sin 45 divided by 72 plus 51 cos 40 minus cos 45, because the cos 90 plus theta, that is a minus sin theta. So instead of this sign, we take a cos, and instead of this cos, we take a sine, right? But the value is same. So we get a 51 multiplied by 1 by root 2, that is a 0. Or we can find the sine 45, 0.7071. 72 minus 51 into 0.7071. So if you calculate this, we get the 51 divided by 50.8. That is beta is equal to 10 inverse 1.0038, approximately 1. So we get an angle 45.11 degree. So angle with respect to the east direction is a 45.11 minus 45, that is a 0.11 degree. So the flag will flutter almost in the direction of the east, right? So flag will flutter almost in the direction of the east, or we can say that it is in the direction of the 0.11 degree angle with the east, right? So here 45.11 with the east direction, total angle, right? So understand dear student this question. So dear student, I hope that you understand the question number 1 to question number 14 of the exercise. So remaining question we will discuss in the next video. So keep watching my video.